Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ohio Anime. If it's morning where you are, Ohio gozaimasu. My name is John, and per the title, we're going to be talking about anime today, specifically Solo Leveling, and season 2, episodes 3 through 5. Hope you're all caught up because we will be spoilery about that. But before all that, we'll talk about what we've been watching, and to do so, we'll have our regular guests get in here. Andrea, Phil, how's it going?
Hey, Dan. Great. Real good.
Andrea, can't hear you again.
At this point, it's like the fans expect it at this point, so it's now
Yes.
it's a thing.
Yes. Andrea's looking fancier tonight. She's got like a nice sweater on and stuff.
Yeah. Very nice.
Phil, what are you wearing? You got like some wizardy shirt or something.
Don.
Oh, okay. Nice. Very nice. And I also see you started your own fan club.
Yep. I realized
the fan club.
I forgot you can change my name on here. So yeah. So
very nice. Well, how many members do you have so far?
Just one. Actually, 2. Okay. I just converted my wife. I was just, I just recently became aware that some people feel like Soul Leveling is like on the boring side. Or like season 1 anyway, which I was just like flabbergasted by, which is fine.
Okay.
People can like or dislike what they want or don't want, but I was just chatting with Dana about it. I was like, I just love this. It doesn't compute with me, but I get that's not everyone's cup of tea, whatever. So she actually watched. We just like kind of just randomly. I was like, well, I want to rewatch some of these episodes anyway. So we just like rewatched most of season 2, and then I just kind of filled her in on some of the important plot points from season 1, and then. I showed her a couple of like parts of episodes of season 1 just to get some context about like Igris and some of the other characters and things like that. And she was like, this is awesome. I love this. So we were, plowing through it now.
So you didn't follow my suggested path.
I mean, we didn't have enough time. I wanted to try to, she was just kind of like already like, I feel like the beginning of season 2 kind of walks you through the real important bits just briefly, and then I think she'll go back and watch season 1.
Okay.
No, I can hear you now. Yep.
Okay, great. Because I do have a
quiet.
comment. I do.
You're quiet
really
though.
Feel... Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I will really.
Oh, much better. Thank you.
There we go.
I do feel like there's so much reference back to it now, especially in season 2. I feel like you do have to watch like the first couple of episodes for the double dungeon.
Sure.
Because they're referencing it constantly now.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
Mm.
So I feel like if there's anything to watch from the first half of the season, I feel like John's correct. You can just watch like the recap episode, but really to get like the terror and the fear and and now Jinwoo has like references to it being abandoned.
Yeah.
You got to watch it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Dana now, after she's watched most of, I think we still have like the High Orc episode to watch.
Okay.
Before I had to jump off.
I feel like she would go back now that she's like hooked into it and then go back.
Season 1. I like season 1 too. I mean, season 2.
I like season. Yeah.
I really like season 1, but I agree. It's not as. It's getting better and better, which I think is a good like not allegory, but it's like. It goes along with Jinwoo himself getting more and more powerful. The show's getting better and better and more intense and more exciting as you go, just like he is. So kind of a nice parallel process there.
Maybe a funny intentional thing. Yeah, our main character is pretty boring, so we're going to start the show off kind of boring.
Well, yeah, I mean, kind of.
I see myself freezing once in a while. Is my audio at least not freezing?
Your audio is fine. Your like video is fuzzy.
Yeah, you're a little fuzzy.
Okay. All right.
It's a little fuzzy.
I will.
And now you just froze.
Now you're even fuzzier.
Oh, and now he's gone.
There he is. No, still fuzzy. Still fuzzy.
I'm just still fuzzy. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
You might just have to deal.
It's probably because you're growing a little beard out there, a little beardy.
A little scruff.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to. I'm gonna leave this open. Hopefully, it's not because we're like streaming. By the way, should tell everybody. We are currently streaming to X, YouTube, and Twitch, but also TikTok.
Oh,
Nice.
We weren't really getting anything on
Getting the
Kick.
talk.
Doesn't let you. It doesn't auto update the titles and stuff like that. You have to whatever. So I just like Twitch, where I make clips, offers in there now to share directly to YouTube, which I have for a while, and then on TikTok and Instagram and some of that. So
sure.
Through Twitch, I basically made a quick TikTok, and it's verified. And so I've been posting clips to TikTok, and this is now the first one going live to TikTok. I don't have TikTok, although I guess I can't see the stuff and how it is, and if we're getting responses.
I'm our first follower.
All right. So yeah, maybe you can see if we're getting any views or if anything's happening or what it looks like. I don't know. I have no idea. Like if the page needs to be customized, there's like banners that are necessary or any of that stuff. So if there are any TikTokers out there, follow us there and let me know.
Definitely.
Done.
Cool.
I don't have TikTok, but sure. I think it's all the rage with the young people. So
okay.
With the youngins.
Okay, what I'm gonna do, we're gonna have
the youth.
Phil.
Ooh,
you're gonna
Phil, your name is so personal right now.
What?
Is it,
yeah.
Wow. You're just gonna abuse the naming. I'm just gonna have to take the naming away.
Take your privileges away. I'm just teasing. It's fine. I did not take any of those texts personally. I did not feel targeted at all.
No. Okay. I think you should change your name now to TikTok is for the youths.
Yeah.
You guys know I hold grudges. Come on.
Grudge. I do.
Years of experience. It's only been like a week or whatever, but let us know if you've watched anything new or if anything has really shocked you, anything meaningful that you've watched. And I'm going to disappear for a second and pop back in. See if I can.
I mean, I'm still watching. Yeah, fair enough. I'll be briefish because I could fill a podcast with all the stuff I'm watching because I'm.
Well, how convenient.
Degenerate, but sorry, what? Wait.
How convenient. We're on a podcast.
Oh, I know, but I don't want to spend. No, we don't want to hear me talk for 20 minutes about what I'm watching. I'm watching all the same shows I have been that I've referenced in other episodes.
Okay.
So a lot of the I may be the world's strongest alchemist and like Fruit Master and some of those really long isekai titles. Headhunted to another world from salaryman to Big Four general for the Demon Lord, that kind of there's a bunch of other watching like that. Dana and I started Apothecary Diaries, so we watched the first two episodes were dubbed, so they were great. I think they? Yeah, I loved the opening. The opening was awesome. I loved it. Dana wasn't so sure about the song at first. She loves the first seasons.
I do too.
I was like, I actually quite like this a lot. Much better, John. Good job. Well done.
Yep. Crystal clear.
Yep.
No, I really like the seasons too, and I'm so glad you guys are like pumped about the first two episodes. I am now up to episode 4 because that's how far they are sub. Yeah. But no, it's strong opening. Yeah,
absolutely. Apothecary Diaries, John.
Yep.
Dana and I watched the first two episodes that were dubbed. And then we also
season 2?
Sorry, go ahead.
Season 2?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Oh, yeah. We had watched season 1, back when it was airing. And then we watched. Dana's been on an anime kick lately. I'm always watching it constantly, and she's a little bit more like
choosy.
Not choosy, but like she'll just like go through phases. Like she'll watch a lot, and then she won't watch much, and then she's just a little more up and down about it. But so we watched Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf, which is actually quite good. It's like two different animes in one. So like there's times when they're in this fantasy world where it's just kind of like a fantasy dungeon crawler type anime. And then there's times when they're in Japan where it's kind of a fish out of water kind kind of a fish out of water, like slash food anime slash a slice of life kind of anime,
Sure.
like rom-com. So it's like a romantic comedy, but then there's like they're in these two different places, and so you get like flavors of both. So it's really quite good, and it's like a nice adult like relationship. Like they're both adults, you know. He's, you know, and it's not like a high schooly like taking forever to realize they like each other. I think it's pretty clear.
What's the name of this one?
There's a small child or a cat, or
I'm not sure. I'm hearing something. Yeah, something.
I heard something too.
I did too. I thought maybe it was my kids, but I don't think it is.
Such a fun game. Whose kids are whose? Like,
I think it's my cat snoring. Actually, one of my cats. I'm just gonna double check this. Welcome to Japan, myself. That's what it's called.
Okay. That sounds interesting. Well, how about you, Andrea?
Yeah, like Phil started off with, I am kind of continuing the shows that I have been watching. Like I told Phil, I'm up to episode 4 in Apothecary Diaries. Of course, now through the current episode for Solo Leveling. Watched the next Sakamoto Days. Watched one more Zenshu. I think there are 5 out, but I'm only through number 3 right now. Sure. And it is getting much funnier, Phil.
Yeah.
Like it started off funny, but I can see how the humor is building.
Definitely.
So
I got Dana to watch that one too. She really loves it.
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's very funny. And then just out of weird whim, I decided to go back and visit something that I've tried. Gosh, I think like 3 times to watch now. It's a show that I had loved, and then it got a season 2 like out of nowhere. I was blindsided. And I started it, and it was not as good as season 1. Irregular at Magic High School. I've tried to watch season 2, like, swear to God, like 4 different times. And this time I'm like all the way through episode 7 now in the second season. So now I'm like committed enough to finish it.
Oh, good.
So here's my problem. The storyline in its essence is good. Like the elements are there. It's the execution. It's like the actual animation. It fell off in quality. And it's not like the big scenes. They definitely save their budget for like cool, big, like magical fights. It's literally just like the everyday scenes where it's just like rough and unfinished, and they just didn't care. So I'm like cranky about it, but you know, I finally feel good about finishing this.
Sure.
Like I'm going to finish the second season. Like I'm far enough along. I need to know how it ends, but oh man, so much potential. Just bummed that somebody didn't take enough time to do it quality.
Anime, I mean, I think that's one of its biggest problems is what we're dealing with right now. It kind of is like like CW shows where the people, you know, there's something that they connect to in the show enough that keeps them watching it enough to fall in love with the characters. And then they just really want to see what happens to those characters, despite acting being kind of rough, or the literal cinematography being really cheap feeling, or the
lighting suddenly changes. There. Yeah. Or like somebody gets a whole new look as a character and you're just like, ew, like I hate this haircut style change thing. Yeah. Yep.
But you keep going because like the overall plot and like character arc is still there. And you just it's certainly what, you know, sets things apart now. And I'm guessing maybe the Irregular High School one is like it just didn't hit as well as they would have anticipated in season 1. So like, well, we'd like to do a season 2. We have the content there to do it, but your budget is less.
Exactly. You know? Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can tell, and it's unfortunate because like I said, I really enjoyed season 1. That was one of my favorites at the time of watching. And yeah, it's a bummer, but I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna push through, and it's like enjoyable enough for me to watch. Like I don't spend every single second being like, oh God, like another thing I hate. But you know, there are moments when it catches you and you're just like, oh, that could have been better.
Phil, don't think I didn't notice your little title switch. like
What?
little monkeying
So
down the keyboard
obvious.
there and
How dare you?
well, it's better than the reverse, Andrea, that is like Promise Neverland, where
yeah. Oof.
you know, like execution of the technical elements of season 2 were still there,
Mhm.
but the plot
story was
wasn't
not.
there. And it's
Mm-mm.
like if I have to choose two, I'm definitely choosing the former. It's the George.
Right.
I'm choosing the George Lucas path. Wow, you wrote a good story. That's nice, but could we not say that sand is rough and it gets everywhere? Can we leave out? Can we have a reworking of this dialogue here? You know. So yeah.
Sorry, that reminds me. I did. I saw something on TikTok where it's like a guy explaining movies, you know, in like a sentence, and he explains the second Star Wars. He's like, Anakin Skywalker cuts a pear to impress Natalie Portman, and it works. 5 stars. And I don't know why. It just like got me. I was
That's
just
all
like,
right.
yeah.
I forgot about that moment, but I guess it's pivotal, huh? Yeah.
Oh man, just as pivotal as not like here. Everything's smooth.
You know, I like episode 3. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Who
It is
doesn't?
great.
I think a lot of people
Episode
don't
3
like
is awesome.
I think a lot of people don't like the first 3 generally. Just
I just
hating
feel like they
Christian haters
saved
out there.
they saved
Maybe
so
not
much good stuff and just shoved it all in 3.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
3.
there was so much buildup. So much buildup
You
to
could have
3,
been
which was
brothers.
really good. Yeah.
It's really sad.
We
Tragic.
should
You
save
Yes.
shelve the Star Wars conversation for an overtime part because
Yes.
I could totally launch into all kinds of stuff with this.
Fair enough.
No.
That's probably wise.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail us, but I had to share that because, like, I spent at least a good minute, like, snorting through my nose, just being like, Anyway,
Mhm.
so yeah, so that's
Very good.
that's my rundown of the anime I've been watching this week,
Okay.
plus
Cool.
random Star Wars thing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm also same boat as you, Phil. First 2 episodes of season 2 of Apothecary.
Mhm. Nice.
Watch in English and
Yep.
yeah, off to picking up right where we left off.
Yeah.
And then
thought it was
yeah, it's
Right.
just it's one of those gorgeous shows. It feels different
Oh, yeah.
than the other things that are out there. So
I really like
excited.
the new opening. I thought it was awesome.
I agree. It looks really
I
good.
don't like the closing credit though. Again,
I don't
it's just-
remember it, so I guess it's not as good.
it's
so-
just fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It just
Mm,
there.
But
Honestly,
it reminded me of Solo Leveling just like for a second because I love the new Solo Leveling, and then I don't like the credits, so it's just like
sure,
Okay.
yeah. The new
You
Solo
know.
Leveling is. I have it in my notes to like mention that is like I just.
Mm.
I watch it every time. There's only a few shows that I watch
Yeah.
the opening every time, and that's one of them. I
Same.
love it. So good.
nice.
the singer for that also
Mhm.
does the opening for Irregular at Magic High School,
Oh, funny.
and I have that like
Oh.
saved to a playlist.
Oh, nice.
She's
Decent.
big. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's does
Oh,
tons of anime openings. Absolutely. So
Oh,
yeah.
they brought out
I
the
love
big
her.
guns for season 2. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's pretty awesome.
I watched another episode of Heavenly Delusion. That's still good.
Yep.
Very good. Toilet Bound, Hanako-kun. 2 more episodes of that. Episode 2 and 3 of season 2. That show does not give you a recap. That show does not really. If you just start there in season 2, like a lot of stuff I've forgotten, and I'm kind of having to figure it out along
Sorry,
the
which
way.
show?
Toilet Bound,
Oh, gotcha.
Hanako-kun.
I don't know. I have not watched it. So,
Yeah. I still see that I'm freezing. As long as my audio's okay, that's what I care about. So
Oh,
just
yeah,
let me
you're
know my
good. Yep.
audio
Mhm.
gets all messed up.
Mhm.
Record of Lotus War,
Mhm.
a couple episodes into that, and
Nice.
very excited to continue.
You like it?
Yeah, it's
I thought
it's
you might.
exactly what I've been wanting. I've been really wanting to. It seems like this year is going to keep me plenty busy when it comes to anime, but I
Oh, yeah.
really would like to go back to 70s through 90s and just stuff I haven't seen, because there's a lot out there. I know that I'm aware of a lot of the big classics, but there's things that, didn't reach that status that are still really good. And, this is like, considered a classic. It just is not as popular as something like Ghost in the Shell or whatever. So
I particularly, I was going to mention, John, on the Record of Lodoss War, I particularly love the way they draw and animate dragons.
Okay.
In the show.
Sure.
I love it. It's very like kind of old school. It's great. It's great.
Yep.
I forgot that one was on Crunchyroll, so I will have to check that out.
Yeah.
It's only 13 episodes, this OVA, and it's I'm watching it in Japanese. Are you Japanese or Phil? Or English Phil?
I'm watching it in English.
Japanese or Phil?
Yeah.
I'm watching it in Phil.
I mean, yeah. Everyone is playing.
Means he's watching it in Grudge.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to talk about how that breaks down later. But yeah, it's from a time when, anime always went through themes and styles and stuff like that. But there was, I think, a time where more stuff was more varied than it is now.
Sure.
Sure. We talk about something like Apothecary Diaries. Looks different. It's got a good sort of color palette to it and everything. It's very beautifully drawn. But the shape of characters and stuff is still very much of modern anime today. Whereas you watch Record of Lodoss War and the individual characters are quite different. Like there's a kind of a thief guy and his face is a little more angular with a bigger nose. And like there's the elf is very different from the dwarf. And it's not just like, they don't feel cookie cutter. So, Yep. And then let's see. I guess that's the big stuff. Some more Dragon Ball Z, and that's about it. So, I'm hoping tonight to watch the newest Sakamoto Days. So, yes,
nice.
I still haven't seen the newest one either. Shockingly. So after
last week when you thought you'd watched it.
Right. So
that was funny.
Okay, well done, guys. Getting some more stuff in here, and Ashley brought up wanting to watch a romance thing, so we might end up throwing My Happy Marriage in here to try to maybe have a Valentine's Day-ish issue episode talking about that or something like that. So
solid.
Yes. Okay, to the main topic. Solo Leveling. We already mentioned a little bit, so we're both watching it and talked about the opening being great and all that sort of thing. We had sort of on our last Solo Leveling episode talked about sort of season 1 in its entirety, and then the first couple episodes of season 2. Well, now we're episodes 3 through 5. So we will have spoilers about that. Be warned. Some of us have read a little bit of the Andrea. You read a little further in the manhwa, I think, or are we caught up now? You've read.
Yeah, so I'm caught up now.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say you didn't read beyond this, did you?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. I didn't think so. Yeah.
Okay. So, let's get into.
I read about I think through the happenings of episode 3, where like the brother meets. I don't know. Like, are we gonna have spoilers? Okay.
Yeah.
Where the brother meets his father.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
The hunter,
the brother of the guy guy he killed.
That brother.
And meets Jinwoo's father, but I didn't know that when I was reading.
Sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I had their interaction, but I didn't have like the reveal.
Context. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So Phil, you'd mentioned there was a lot to talk about in these episodes, and I mean, might as well start with that. That was kind of a big thing. Is who is this guy? Where is he from? And then it's like he doesn't speak English,
right?
So
sort of.
Right. Not
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
or whatever. And so they bring back, even though he's like, S rank douchebag, he
Yep.
will still follow some orders and
Mhm.
come back to translate, find out who this guy is. There's talk of, is he a magical beast,
Right.
Right.
or whatever. And
Mhm.
yeah, then we get the last name drop. And so that was pretty interesting. And I really had never thought about that. There's so many anime that just like come up with some excuse for the parents to not be in the picture, and then you just don't worry about it. It's just so you
Yep.
don't worry about it.
Right.
Yeah, I hadn't really
And
thought about it either. Yep.
yeah, but this one we have the mom,
Yep.
so it makes sense. And where's the father? So
Right.
um,
Yeah, she's
he
not there,
comes
but
with a
she's like
warning.
a clutch not there. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like
Yeah.
she's a crucial, like her not being there is like
That's
a
his
crucial
motivation.
plot point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
Whereas
right,
like
he's
we
gotta
never
be
we never
working and-
question that the dad is like gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
Right.
So what do we think? I mean, he's coming in there and he's warning about
Mhm.
a big danger.
Mhm.
It's going to end everything. And
Mhm.
he of course, S-ring douchebag doesn't want to listen to him at all.
Right.
Mhm.
What do
I
we
did
think
find it annoying that he was like, "Don't talk to me unless I ask you a question." And I was like, "You just asked him a question, bro. Like, you did ask him a question, actually, and he was
but
talking.
answer
he was
my
answering your
specific
in context.
question. Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Well, yeah, but he's.
hmm
I mean, he is.
Yeah, I don't know his name. We're going to go with S-ring douchebag
Yeah,
for me.
that's
So
Yep. It's a good
I
name.
won't
It's a
bother
good
to
name.
look him up.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, what do we think this horrible thing is that's going to end it all?
I actually have a theory. 'Cause
Okay.
on the second rewatching, when I was watching with Dana, he references that the guy's like, "Oh, well, we have all these hunters in the world. We can all gang," and he's like, "That won't help. Like, they'll just be like, He made a reference like they'll just be eaten up and then used against us, or something like that." And I was like, I wonder if he knows that, like, maybe Jinwoo becomes like, in trying to save his mom, he'll become a threat where he's
Sure.
the catastrophe because he's so powerful and he can't be stopped and he's going to continue to gain power. That would explain why he, could kill all these other hunters and turn them into his shadow soldiers like he did with Iron. So
Yeah.
that's
The same
maybe why
thing
his
went
dad's
through
like,
my mind.
only I can stop him. My son.
Yeah.
stop
I agree.
my
Yeah,
son.
yeah.
Is that what you guys were
That's
thinking
what I
too?
thought of.
Oh,
That's what I thought for sure.
Oh,
I didn't.
wow.
I didn't necessarily think of the shadow part. Like I didn't catch the whole like consuming part of it.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I guess it's the path Jinwoo's going down or whatever.
Mhm.
I don't know. Yeah, I just thought that maybe he's the threat, and that would be very interesting.
Yeah.
He's coming back to warn people of his own son.
Right.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't necessarily think that, although, like hearing it makes a lot of sense, especially because in these episodes there's a lot of like questioning by Jinwoo, like, how can I do this thing? I guess I'm special because I'm the player. What does that mean?
Yeah.
And it just feels like the player getting played. So, he could
Yep.
definitely be the threat. I found the interaction interesting, kind of relatedly, in like, his father is clearly super powerful because he just like
Yeah.
decimates S-rank douchebag.
Right.
hmm
And and now Jinwoo's like accumulating power.
Mhm.
And so is there some sort of clue there, like why is his father so powerful? Is this,
Mhm.
going to be a clue to why Jinwoo gets chosen to be the player?
Right.
Right.
Like
so
he's
yeah,
also
so
a player, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's been through this system and somehow like he's
Yeah.
coming back now after years, like
Yeah.
I escaped or I did something.
Mhm.
But then also I thought the interaction was interesting given that, these people thought that Jinwoo's father was a man beast. It really gives us clues about,
Sure.
the sentient level of all of these demons and monsters that we really get to dig into then the next couple of episodes.
Right.
And I mean, I guess pre-dig into, because the next episode is clearly going to be more, but
Gonna be awesome.
it's
Yeah.
it's such a
Yeah,
cool
it's-
thing for this show to like evolve this way.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah. What will we find out more about? Like whatever parallel world that we're entering in. There's no reason that they can't have their complete own structure and everything. We keep having we want to talk or we don't want to fight against you. We had that with from the ice elves, you know.
Yep.
Right.
We're supposed to kill humans. It's like, is it going to be unsatisfying if we're literally in Tron? If we're literally in a video game?
A little bit.
Because
Yes.
the demons then they're NPCs programmed to kill the human NPCs, and maybe everybody's given a computer avatar, and because Jinwoo died, he woke up and he can access the game. It's like if you set up your own server somewhere or whatever, and all the players can play and do all things within the rules and all that sort of thing. But if you're running the server, you have admin controls. You can go in and mess stuff up. It's like Neo in the Matrix. He's can access the system now. He's aware of what.
Yeah, I mean, certainly there's someone pulling some strings.
Yeah,
there's some sentient entity, whether it's like a group or. But I hope it's not literally a video game and there's some person just typing away.
Well,
it seems kind of lame, but
I would guess I would caveat it would be interesting if it was somebody else. Do you know what I mean? I don't want a Sword Art Online where it's I have the thing, I have the VR headset, but now I'm stuck in my own game and somehow do you know what I mean? If it was somebody else kind of puppeteering something, I would at least find that mildly interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be a different than, I'm absorbed into the game or, I'm stuck in the world and my real body is X or whatever.
Sure.
I don't imagine they'll go down the route of, like you said, Sword Art Online, where people again then are aware of this. It would be more like the Matrix, where you don't understand you're in the Matrix. You think your real life and the real world is the real world and your real life.
Yeah. And that speaks to
a real person, but
but that speaks to my I would be interested if it was somebody else pulling the strings, because the Matrix, the machines have designed the Matrix and they're the puppet masters. So yes, I would find something like that at least different and potentially interesting depending on how well it was done. But I wouldn't want to trapped in a video game kind of feeling, a reveal.
Yeah, because maybe there could be a rogue element to whoever's set up the game. If we stick with the Matrix thing, the machines, there's a rogue element there that creates a Jinwoo, sets him up to break the system.
Sure.
It's you think you got this, all these people are imprisoned here, they don't know where they are, what's going on. I don't think that's right. I'm going to get in here and create a player that can access tools that other can't, and we're going to, from the inside out, bust your system.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be horrific and ironic then if his dad was warning people of a terrible catastrophe to come, but really he was propping up the system?
Yeah.
You think he's coming with
father.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh. We just wrote something cool. I don't think this is going in that direction, but
I don't think so either. I hope not, actually. But yeah,
I think there's some
we're gonna
they have to know what's going on when they set this up. They can't just have asked a bunch of questions. So, and a lot of people have complained about how the Matrix just ended. So,
eventually we're gonna have to figure out what system Jinwoo is either being controlled by or interacting with or whatever, because it is a system. So eventually we're gonna have to figure that out.
Oh yeah, I would think.
Yep.
And I wonder if they're gonna start throwing in some different time streams and different gates. He was that one. I mean, obviously, there's some crazy stuff goes down in gates. They have the red gate, and they have the double dungeon. And they, this his dad got stuck in a gate for a long, long time. So I wonder if he's run into Jinwoo in some different type of gate with a different time stream, an alternate version of him, so he sees what he's going to turn into, or maybe he
That I
fights
hope they
against
don't do.
him in the future or something like that. So he's coming back, and now he's like, I've seen what my son is going to do, and we got to stop it. I don't know.
What makes you think that there's time involved in it? I mean, I understand that like time moves differently in inside and outside, but
yeah.
Well, that's all about what time travel is, right? It's just like when you're going at a certain speed, a rate of speed, time will move differently for you. So if you're traveling at the speed of light, you can get somewhere like far away pretty quickly, but then when you come back just as quickly, it's going to be like 4 million years in the future. But to you, it'll only have felt like several hours. Anyway, it was so I've been just saying like time streams and like the way time flows differently can affect like time. It can be like considered a form of like time travel. I'm just saying that if the dad is trying to come back and warn them about Jinwoo specifically, then he must have had to interact with him in some sort of different time stream.
I see.
Caused by a gate interaction or something. But maybe he's not warning about Jinwoo at all, in which case doesn't need to be time travel necessarily. But how could he be warning about Jinwoo if he's not interacting with him in some way?
If he's sent by the system, one, our previous conjecture.
Previous theory.
Two would be like if he has some sort of access or player level thing or whatever, or system level, even if he's not like sent from a system, but he's like aware of the game being played, the system in place, and how maybe he thinks it's important and how that's a delicate balance or whatever. And so he, if he's aware of like, oh, hey, another player, look how high level this player is. Look at all the capabilities or whatever. That would be a possibility. Like you say, it could be totally something completely different. My mind just also did go there right away for whatever reason, and I don't think they put anything on screen to really suggest that necessarily. You got the consuming part of it, so maybe that's something, but I think it's more just a way that we're maybe feeling about our protagonist.
Sure.
That this could become a threat, or at least the world would see him as a threat. Like if this has no end, if there's no level cap,
it'll be unstoppable. Yeah.
I mean, to bring another show in here, another possibility, I was trying to think about the little hints that are dropped around this conversation, and to combine something that I was thinking of, like the initial team who grabs Jinwoo's father thinking like he's a man beast, and then him talking about consuming. It could be a deal like Kaiju number 8, where, beasts have gained sentience by consuming hunters. Like all of these orcs could be dead hunters.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Who are now like, we're pissed, we died. Now you're hunting us, and this isn't what our life is supposed to be. So let's negotiate, puny humans.
Yeah. I mean, I think the show
direct like death sort of thing, because otherwise, how does the initial gates start? They couldn't be dead hunters because they didn't. The hunters came.
No, but
after.
but at the end of season 1, they were very shocked that these beasts were evolving, like they were getting wings and flying off the island. Now, they apparently can speak and negotiate. There's evolution in different ways happening. So what if it's not like evolution necessarily?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think the show is intentionally not telling us a lot of things, which it works. It's getting us talking about it and it's speculating and stuff, but I think it's going to be pretty impossible to guess at this point, but interesting stuff for sure. Like specifically about what his dad's referring to. But
yeah. So he, let's see, Jinwoo gets a little closer to his price. That that's kind of a party goes back into his dungeon there, and it's like one of those things like time consuming, but it just slog through. He's like, it's like grinding now, video game grinding.
Right, grinding it out. I was disappointed at, I had written down to talk about why he didn't try to make the a various Vulcan into a Shadow Soldier, but then on a second watch through, he said, "Oh, for some reason I can't recruit these demons." So presumably that even counts for the bosses at that, which is unfortunate because that dude would have made a sweet Shadow Soldier. But just like Darkrai, all the ones that want him to turn into a Shadow Soldier, he isn't able to. So that's annoying. But,
yeah, well, it's just like like a video game, or I should say like D&D. You can do different sort of possession of things, but so you can't break the rules, so you can't break the world. And that's what DMs run into. They're like granting people abilities or things, and all of a sudden their players are breaking the game. Like, okay, this game doesn't function anymore. I have to make monsters way more powerful. I have to cripple people somehow, because otherwise this is just wasn't work.
Right.
So
and it'll also make it more fun when
like
does recruit his next person, when it's not every time. You're like, well, it happened this time.
Yep. And this gives us like, we can see how this group battles. He got like an item to make some of their magic more powerful. We get used to some of them being a little bit of a character, and other than just a mindless servant. So that's cool too. If he just like kept recruiting more and more, we don't care, we're not invested at all. Like, I like Ingress or Ingress.
Ingress.
Which one? Ingress. He's cool. And the kind of little attitude we get from Shield Guy, that stuff that's fun.
Iron,
so
if
it's too much,
Tank, the polar bear now.
Tank.
Yep.
Do you remember last episode we talked about solo leveling, and we were talking about like if he had a limited capacity of Shadow Soldiers he can have and be kind of holding on to at any given time. Yeah. And then we were speculating that like as his power grew, he could hold more and more Shadow Soldiers, or he just like could hold them but only call them up with as much mana as he has. But I showed Dana the part where he first got his abilities in season 1, because we just watched that part of that last episode of season 1, and he does say when he recruits Ingress or whatever, he's like, "Oh, I can only hold so much. And then he lets like a dozen of his Shadow Soldiers go. He's like, sorry, to woke me up. So I think he is limited, at least initially, in how many he can have, or maybe it's limited to how much mana he has, like his max mana.
Right.
But
it's
he hasn't done that. Sorry? You think it's that?
It's for sure that part of it, at least. Like he mentions here even about...
He didn't... Okay.
Well, and the new guy, new fire guy, like calls it up, and he's like, he calls up his own like version kind of Jinwoo's army. Like he's got the two beings that rush the orc, and he's like, "Oh, that's my secret move. It like took all my mana."
Oh, right. Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
You remember the guy with the lantern and like the two beings come out? Yeah.
I'll have to watch that again. Rewatch that episode.
Because he talks about like how he's able
much
to
happens.
just keep more people out. We saw as they all die and they're out there, they just like constantly draining his mana bar real fast. And now he's leveled up so much more, so he can just leave more of them out. Now, what we don't know is if that his mana is establishing a cap to how many he can have within his control. Just how, like his storage. We don't know that. We just know at once how many he can call forth is dependent upon how much mana he has.
And kind of how long I think he can keep them going.
Probably.
Yeah. Right. Does he have a storage capacity of 500, but he can really only keep out 20 for any meaningful amount of time? Or does he have no storage capacity, but he can still only keep out meaningfully 20 at a time?
Sure.
Until his mind, whatever.
I don't know. Well, I haven't seen him release any of his like other lower level Shadow Soldiers since that first time.
First one,
he's recruited some pretty powerful beings with the Ice Bear leader, all the other Ice Bears, and Iron. So maybe he's level up enough from now on. He can just grow his army bigger and bigger.
Well, the question that it's really, I thought of it before, was how potentially messed up it is that he has a soul slave of a human. So we're talking about like, what are these beasts or whatever, these night creatures, all this sort of thing, and that he's able, like, clearly Ingress is able to understand and communicate and, attempt to resist possession, all that sort of thing. And so, but then we have a human now. Like, I don't know what the established, if there is any lore for a soul in this world.
Yeah,
but it leads into more of maybe a game or Matrix type of thing or whatever. But either way, his soul is trapped. So if this world has anything resembling a heaven or something, he's not going there. So Jinwoo morally,
I don't think he was going to go there anyway with the way he treated those people on the during the Red Gate. So
I mean, I don't know. I'm not the one. I'm not the one to judge. And like he'll repent, and maybe the rest of his life has been filled with, praise the Lord all over the place, and then
seemed like it.
I don't know.
Seemed like
either way, I mean, or hell or whatever. He's in a different life, a purgatory or something. It's an unnatural place. One would argue.
Well, sucks to suck.
All by the
better in your life.
Well, all by the hands of someone that is, taking the role of God into their own hands now. So
yeah, I mean, he just knocked that guy down, and the guy tried to come kill him. So I plead self-defense.
Yeah, but he could have let his spirit go. Self-defense falls to as soon as the threat against your own life has ceased. You don't get to continue the attack or now bond someone's soul in eternal servitude.
Yeah.
No longer self-defense. Lost in court.
Dang it. Well, Iron seems pretty happy to me, so I think it's probably fine. He's happy to be there.
I mean, if he gets if he is looking for redemption, this would be his shot.
Yeah.
To help Jinwoo.
Totally.
Yeah, I don't know. I do find it interesting the question of like binding a human soul. And it sort of makes me wonder about my own like other hunter souls being absorbed into monsters theory.
Yeah.
And yeah, it does make me curious to see like who is next, because I was thinking for Jinwoo to bond, because I was thinking about like, well, is it only like humanoid, like, I don't know, bosses or adversaries or, whatever, in the dungeons. But no, he has like the ice bears, so he can bond beast creatures, but he can't bond demons so far.
Well, he had the opportunity to bond Barca, and he couldn't. They're not really demons, I guess. They're elves, I guess, technically, but
yeah, but they're like sort of demon creatures, like elves, orcs they're like a, I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're kind of their own classification that's vaguely similar.
Sure, but he wasn't even given the opportunity to try to bond the demons in the demon castle thing.
Right.
And maybe it's something with where he's at. This is a
special
I don't know
special
what you
gate,
call it, but it's his own thing, and
it's his side quest.
Are these things outside the the regular rules or whatever?
Yeah.
Who knows what
he must be
situation?
Or he's they're giving him different rewards, so it's like he can't also bond a bunch of our demon bosses.
Right, because you've got all the other stuff, and we kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it's a little anticlimactic, but we get that he now has 2 of the 3 ingredients for the elixir of life in like an episode.
Right.
I don't know, I was a little like, okay,
sure. I think it
was major, and yet it also wasn't.
Sure.
Yeah. I hope they draw out the last ingredient, because I'm sort of really interested in that. So
yeah, I think they will. And there's this whole new
I'm going to switch headphones. You guys are breaking up for some reason.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Your audio's not bad, just so you know.
Yeah, no, and but I think there's going to get a lot of directions this could go. But I think there's a lot. I hope there's a lot still more to come here.
Yeah, agreed. Are you back with us, John?
Oh, yes, there you are.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is. Those stupid Microsoft headphones. bad interference.
Yeah, I was just saying your audio was fine, so
Okay.
nothing interrupted. Just your sound on your end.
Right.
Oh, I tell you. Okay. Okay. Yes, possession. Questionable moral ambiguity here. And what are these things? I mean, I know Phil's the ever Jinwoo apologist. That's what you should change your name to right now. Jinwoo apologist.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should talk about some of the other characters, because I've been waiting for a long time for Jinwoo to be a little less solo in Solo Leveling.
Sure.
I just, and so we're finally getting to like, okay, he's S rank. We go in, he gets a ranking, turns down some offers. But now he's like, okay, we see where he's at, and maybe this is the time we need that he can like work with some S ranks or something,
Yep.
And so we have the woman that has kind of been sprinkled in throughout, but very mysterious.
Yep.
And again, suggesting how different he is. So really, when we had the ice elf saying you don't register as human, and now for her, every hunter has smelled bad and he doesn't.
Right.
So further complicating the mystery. I'm going to try to find her name.
Yeah.
Chain, something like that. Chine.
Something like that. He called her like the dancer. So that's like her professional name.
Yes. God, I love when people have like cool ass nicknames.
Swimsuit chick, I think some people call her.
I like the dancer. I want to see her in action.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I was interested in that as well, because she's been very peripheral. She just keeps like popping up, around this like potential mystery surrounding the island and what happened, and
right.
Now she senses Jinwoo and she thinks it's like Chairman Go. I thought that was really interesting as well. If there's going to be some sort of explanation to tie them together.
Yeah.
And then she says he smells different. And I think there's a little bit of like early flirtation there for her and Jinwoo. He definitely seems interested, which I'm cool with, because I'm way more interested in this pairing than I was like high school teenager. I'm glad she's gone.
Well, of course. Sure,
I was just not interested in that, like,
well, no, I don't
storyline, and not even in their romantic pairing. I just kind of didn't vibe with that character, and that kind of like, I'm going to be your mentor, and I like you, and I have a high school crush on you.
I didn't get that read from Jinwoo yet at this point, though I suspect that's where it's going to go. I thought it was more on her front, because it's just like,
I
again,
agree
just
that it
startling,
was like stronger there, but he didn't seem as dismissive. Do you know what I mean? Like he just he felt like
he wasn't a cold asshole to her. So that's flirting. Wow.
Yeah, sure.
For his personality right now, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So her name is Cha-hei.
Cha-hei, okay.
Cha-hei.
I was close.
Yeah.
Dang it. I combined. My bad.
Yeah. So, and I don't speak much Korean, so I could be wrong, but I agree. I want to see her in action. I want to see some of these other S rank people. I want to, even now we're in this other dungeon, and I have to say before we get into that as well, you guys ever watched the TV show Monk?
Like here and there.
Yeah, little bits and pieces, not like a ton.
So clearly they don't explain this, but Monk is cursed because everywhere he goes is murder. Like no matter where he goes, there's murder to solve all the time.
Sure.
I'm on vacation at the Lake Resort. Murder, all this constant, so we can have a show.
Yeah.
Jinwoo clearly cursed, or this is where he's being sent or whatever.
The shitty dungeons.
Yeah. It's like no one would do this. Like every time you go in, it's like, oh, trapped. Oh, red dungeon. Oh, these guys are going to kill you.
Dungeon.
Yeah. It's like,
It's probably related to him being like the player. But
Yeah.
Maybe it would be cool if there was a plot element to that, as opposed to like just to make the show function an interesting
Sure.
element.
But
So
they reference
would also-
all the dungeon, like there's so many that he goes on that they just kind of gloss over though, where nothing happens. So I think they're
Yeah.
just showing us
Yeah.
the times when something weird happens.
right,
Yeah, but also like they do make a point of having people who are trying to recruit him. They're like, oh, he was in this one and this one and
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
Oh, coincidence, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not, I feel like I hope, I guess, it's not just about them trying to figure out his rank before now
Sure.
they know he's an S rank.
Sure.
right.
I hope it is something. That would be
Mhm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in this other dungeon, and we don't have to be done talking about Chahayan yet, but it's just because she comes back looking for him.
Right.
So obviously we can talk about what goes on in dungeon, but my question is she going to go in and be party to a rescue here? Because in a they can't get out, but there's
And they
no
said it's
suspicion
cursed.
on the inside or from
Right.
the outside. Because from the
Right,
outside
but
before, when it's
There's
turns
no
red,
suspicion. There's no suspicion, but can she get in though if it's cursed? Even if there's
I
no
don't
like
know.
signal, even
Yeah,
if
I
there's
don't
no
know.
like outward sign like turning purple.
Yeah, I'm not
'cause
sure.
I think the curse is like purple-ish color
to
energy.
me, I think it's open. Like they could, if they wanted, they could, because no rules we've been explained so far would break that at this point.
Mhm.
You know, it's like cursed could be easily you can't leave. No one can leave.
Okay.
But going in, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
So I think most shows would be this is how it would be set up. It's like, oh, I'm coming to look for this guy. Really, he went in this dungeon. He's like, isn't he E rank or something? I'm the one that's, and you go in and take a peek, and this would be the saving thing. But will he need it, or will she witness him saving everyone else, or whatever?
Sure.
I don't know.
Right.
It's
I mean, she's certainly going to find out soon, I think, and she already suspects because she's like, oh, I thought he saw a dagger in his hand or something.
yeah.
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 Plus, his assessment is the next day, and he
Right.
is done hiding the ability.
Right.
So she's definitely going to know
Yeah.
he's not just some random guy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
In this dungeon, I mean, was anyone getting nervous that he's going to let people get severely, potentially die? I'm like, when are you going to step in? When are you
No,
going
I
to
knew
step
he was going
in?
to save him.
I mean, the
knew
guy
he-
Yeah.
did lose an arm, and they had to rely on the healer then to grow it back quickly.
Sure.
Yes.
He did let that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
But
probably
he
trying
was-
to
he was
see
moving
if they
around
can
doing
actually do it
stealth.
first. But not-
After
He's moving
that,
around
yes,
doing
then
stealth.
he moved in. Yeah, after
Eventually.
the damage was done, and yeah, it's like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I
Well-
love how the one woman catches him. It's like,
Yeah.
he must think so
Yeah.
little of us.
Right.
Yeah.
That he
I
thinks
did
he might have
enjoy that
noticed.
too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
too.
That really I really enjoyed that because I like this group. I think, we're kind of set up to like
Yeah.
this group from the beginning. Clearly,
agree.
like the captain is much, much different than
Yes.
the former human self of Iron.
Kim Chol, who deserves to have his soul enslaved. Yeah, I agree.
So
John's like
John's gonna rename you Jinwoo apologist. You look out.
John's like out of control.
No,
Out of
so
bounds.
I like this group. I like their vibe, and I hope that they're kind of the side characters for a while. I'm, like I said before, I'm kind of done with like the high school girl. I like the kid who was following him around, calling him boss, but it's a very one-sided plot right now, and these people feel a little bit more interesting. And Jinwoo clearly connects with them because he's saving them. He's thinking, I'm not going to pass on your will because I think we're going to make it out of here.
Yeah.
But they didn't abandon me. Like they're stepping up. They're
Mhm.
cool people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yep.
I would say,
And this is an interesting thing, like
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
negotiate with monsters. Like this
For sure.
is super new. And this group is like, okay, we will roll with it and figure out what the hell is going on here
Yep.
and alert people so that, they can be aware of what's going on in this gate.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I really liked the Ice Slayers, but I think these the
High orcs.
intelligent monster groups are getting cooler and cooler. The high orcs are awesome, super, just like scary, and they give me animated Hobbit, Rankin Bass, 1960s goblins vibes.
Yeah,
down to the Goblin Town. You guys know what I'm talking about.
I do.
So that's where I just and I'm here for it. So it's awesome.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a fun scene. I do think the orcs are cool. I'm glad that Jinwoo saved them, and I agree the group is likable. It's interesting to see, the various competencies, but they're like, we don't have a choice here. We're going forward. There's nobody that was like, there was nobody that was finally nobody that's like, oh my God, we're going to die. And they're breaking down, trying to like flee and claw at the ground or whatever, they're losing their mind. Right. And then someone else trying to like, they're not willing to stab each other in the back so they can have the chance of escape. It's like, we get that a lot. So you're right. Yeah. Finally, this is a difference. It seems like a group worth helping. And I immediately, when this episode was done, I'm just like, oh my God, why did I watch this episode the day it came out? Because I had to wait an entire week.
I know.
Yeah.
Fun. I love that. I love that the leader of the High Orcs is like a freaking sorcerer. It's awesome. Like they can do magic. That adds a whole another cool layer to it.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm awesome.
Yeah,
he's hyped on himself.
Lounging there in his throne. Yeah,
hyped on himself. Just I did this.
Yep,
I love it. Big orc energy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, next episode's gonna be off the hook.
To your point, John, I also liked that nobody was like losing their mind or do you know, like you have that like mania face, whether it's out of fear or like evil. I was glad nobody did that. Nobody pulled that.
Yeah.
The one sorcerer who I talked about earlier, who let out his like fire crew and then was shocked when it didn't work. It was just more like, oh shit. Like I really just realized what we're up against. I'm going to fight anyway. But everybody kind of had that like, damn moment.
Yep.
But they didn't turn.
No.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good.
Okay. Well, I think we covered like the big pieces, new relationship, father, got a little further in his dungeon and the big cliffhanger here. So,
yeah. The only other part was like just all in the middle episode of the 3, just with like, the different guilds kind of jockeying to try to recruit them, and Hunters Association trying to recruit them for like a government job, and interesting stuff. But I thought it was interesting that the guy was like, join the Hunters Association so that you don't get
upset the balance
with one of these other 5 guilds and tip the balance. Yes. But what that guy doesn't know is that Jin was likely just to join his buddy's guild that's new and upcoming, so it wouldn't upset the balance. He could still be a hunter, and it still wouldn't mess up the association's oversight and be able to like manage all the guilds and stuff. So, and then maybe the people he's with in the orc dungeon are going to be like, assuming that things go well,
they come with him,
and they go and they leave with him. Maybe they'll be like, oh, dude, we're like devoted to you now. Please lead us, and we'll come with you to whatever guild you go to. And he's going to pull over a nice little crop of hunters for the new guild.
Yeah.
Could be. All I know is I'd like to see some other characters and have them develop and like them and stuff. So that would be something like let's find some characters that are cool that we can be invested in, that can do stuff. Yes, in Dragon Ball Z, Goku is the most powerful. Yes, in Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo is the most powerful. But other people still have roles and functions and do cool things.
And they're not always the most interesting.
Right. Yeah. True. Absolutely. So like let's see other people and make some friends and allies, and yeah, absolutely.
Girlfriends, maybe.
Girlfriends and allies. Yeah.
Plural?
Yeah.
He's in a plural?
No, like, I just mean like,
Phil's going to be like, Arjun he's going to end up killing some people, enslaving and having spirit girlfriends. That's
no. I mean the
we
dancer. That's not what I'm saying. Kim Chol did deserve it. That other guy he killed in the dungeon, the brother of the S-Rank hunter, he also deserved it. He left Jinwoo and the other guy to die and then tried to kill him.
True. Yes.
This is all self-defense. All self-defense.
He was definitely rotten. Yeah, he was absolutely rotten. Yeah. No question.
I mean, Kim Chol, maybe he was driven a little mad by like the cold and the bad situation, but he still
he tried to help his people that he was with.
Yeah.
He just he was powerless too. And, yes, he did say like, oh, the other group, they're probably not going to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, c'est la vie.
So this big cliffhanger we end the episode on, it's definitely will Jinwoo make it to his assessment or not, right? Like that's the cliffhanger.
Oh.
No. The cliffhanger is definitely will the party survive? The rest of the party. Can he defeat the people while saving them? Or can he do this on his own at all? Or does he need his lady the dancer going to come in and help save the day?
No, this is an 80s high school TV show. The big question is, will he make it to the assessment on time? Will he make it to the dance?
What if, so I thought you meant like not make it at all. Like he's going to die. He's like, no, he's
no.
not
I was completely joking. Cause he thinks about it before he goes in the dungeon. He's like, oh, my assessment's tomorrow. Like, can I really do this?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So yeah. So it's completely joking about that being the cliffhanger.
What if he did die and then the whole system reboots?
Again.
I'll be probably
again.
Annoyed.
Yeah, it would be awful. It would be awful. It would be, yeah.
Oh, he loses all his cool shadow people and stuff. Oh, I would hate that.
I mean, video game, it's a roguelike. It's different every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Keep what you can have. Oh my God, they could do that.
John, why did you put that out there?
I don't
John,
think
that is
will,
the opposite of
totally
big orc energy. Get that, take that back. Get it back inside.
It's like they're writing this like, what's kind of trendy right now? Oh, roguelites. So you gotta go through dungeon as far as you can go, acquire all this stuff to make you more powerful, get as beefy as possible.
It's like a Hades run up in here.
Exactly. And then it could totally be that.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
let's hope not.
Well, on that bummer note.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Okay. Well, that's Solo Leveling Season 2, Episodes 3 through 5. Thank you both for joining me. Dealing with my fuzziness and headphone changes and whatever.
Now you look great.
Hell is happening. Yeah, right at the end, internet catches up. Perfect.
Just in time.
Yeah. So I have a setup now for an actual end screen, and so I can end it. And then anytime that you guys want to like talk about something else, like say if we end early or whatever, then you just have to let me know beforehand, and I'll transition to another screen and keep things going. So that's how we'll do things.
Cool.
But make sure you like, share, subscribe in all the places. Again, tonight we were live on YouTube and Twitch and X, and for the first time, TikTok. So wherever you want to be, go to those places and follow and share. We do put our main shows onto podcast directories as well. So Spotify or Apple Podcasts or a whole bunch of other ones. Go ahead and take your pick. The video version is available on Spotify. And yeah, typically we go back to back, back and forth, anime show, regular podcast show. Isn't always that case. Maybe we have a Valentine's of this coming up soon. We'll have another Sakamoto Days coming up soon. So just stay tuned, and yeah, then you'll know. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good. See you guys.